If you're anywhere near the world of automated trading, you know you're just constantly getting bombarded with hype. But what if you could cut through all that noise and find a real sustainable edge? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into the critical shift from these so-called AI bots to what's really the next generation of intelligent trading tools. Let's get right into it. Yeah, this probably sounds pretty familiar, right? You see a backtest, it looks like a straight line up, a guaranteed path to profit. You deploy it with your real money, and then it just completely falls apart. If you're tired of that whole cycle and you're looking for something that's way more transparent and robust, you are definitely in the right place. All right, so let's just start by tackling the biggest problem in this entire space, what I call the fake AI trap. The market is just saturated with products promising artificial intelligence, but what are they actually selling you? Let's break down what's really going on under the hood. Okay, so what we're looking at here, this is the absolute core of fake AI. And it's not some sophisticated scam, not really. It's just old technology with a brand new label. I mean, think of it as a simple if-then statement. You know, if the RSI indicator crosses a certain level, then trigger a sell. That is a fixed, decades-old rule. It is not genuine intelligence. And here is the fundamental difference, just laid out plain and simple. On one side, you've got this rigid, frozen system, and on the other, you have a living one. Instead of just following some fixed script, it's actually conducting live analysis by connecting to advanced AI models like ChatGPT or Gemini, and it's using real-time tick-by-tick data straight from your broker. And that's the most raw, granular data you can possibly get. So this leads us to where the trap gets really, really deceptive. We need to talk about the single biggest red flag in this entire industry, the siren song of the perfect backtest. This right here is probably the most important thing you need to get, and it feels completely backwards, I know, but a flawless backtest isn't a sign of a great system. Actually, more often than not, it's a sign of a fragile, over-optimized system that is almost guaranteed to break in a live trading environment. So why does this happen? Well, these static systems are what we call curve-fitted. They're perfectly tailored to what happened in the past. But markets, they're dynamic, they change. So when conditions change, the system breaks. And this leads to something called the emotional interference cycle. You trust the system, it fails, you panic, and you end up jumping in at the absolute worst possible time. And this really gets to the heart of it all. As this quote points out, no matter how advanced an AI is, it has absolutely no skin in the game. It doesn't feel risk, it doesn't feel pressure. That responsibility always and only belongs to you, the trader. All right, so we've laid out the problem with the old model. Now let's start looking at the solution. We're talking about shifting from a static rulebook to a system that has an evolving, almost learning brain. So what does a modern, truly authentic AI trading tool actually look like? Well, it's not a closed-off black box of software. Instead, you should think of it more like a framework that connects to the major AI models that are already out there. You know, the same powerful tools you might use for other things, and it applies their massive analytical power to live market data. Let's just walk through how this actually works step by step. It all starts with you, the trader, setting the strategy in plain English. The system then sends that live tick-by-tick data to the AI for analysis. The AI makes a decision based on that live analysis, and then the system executes it, all while staying perfectly within the risk controls that you set. Now this comparison, this really highlights the huge architectural shift. Traditional systems, they rely on fixed indicators and manual updates. But an agentic system, and that just means one that can act independently to reach its goals, it uses adaptive reasoning and it evolves through simple prompts. The key difference here, the real game changer, is the evolution cycle. A traditional bot is pretty much outdated the second you buy it. An agentic system, on the other hand, can actually get smarter as the underlying AI models get better. And this is the critical advantage. You are not buying a piece of software that is going to be obsolete in 6 months. No, you're deploying a framework that's constantly being upgraded by the biggest names in AI. Your system's brain gets an upgrade every time a new, more powerful model is released, and you don't have to do a single thing. Okay, so this huge shift in technology, it also requires a shift in the role of the trader. You're no longer just flipping a switch to turn a bot on or off. You are stepping into the role of a conductor, a director, what we can call an AI orchestrator. So here's what that actually looks like in practice. You'll notice you're not dealing with lines of complex code here. You're interacting with presets and prompts. You define the rules of engagement in plain language. You tell the AI your strategic goal, and you let it handle the tactical execution. Now, this is a really key distinction. This is not about picking some risk level from a drop-down menu. No, real control means you are the one who is defining the core logic and the exact risk parameters. You are the strategist in this partnership. So you can think of this as your new job description. You provide the strategy, you define the rules. You leverage the AI for what it's best at, disciplined, unemotional execution. And most critically, you supervise the entire process. You are always in control. You are not just blindly trusting some black box. And this all leads us to the most important takeaway of all. The real edge in today's markets is not about human versus machine. It is all about human plus machine. A lot of people think AI trading is all about predicting the future, but that's not its biggest strength at all. The real value is actually simpler, but it's way more profound. The AI is not human. It doesn't feel greed or fear. It doesn't revenge trade after a loss or chase a move that's already gone. It just executes the plan with perfect discipline, and that removes the emotional mistakes that are the downfall of so many traders. And this visual, it just shows the partnership perfectly. The AI, it handles all the heavy lifting, the scanning, the calculations, the execution. The human, that's you provide what the AI lacks: judgment, context, and the ultimate decision on how much capital to put at risk. The responsibility for the outcome, that stays firmly with you. So I want to leave you with this one question to really think about. When you have a system that is capable of flawless, unemotional execution, what is the one job that remains? What is the one thing that will always, always be yours? It's deciding how much you're willing to risk and owning the outcome. That is the heart of trading, and it's a responsibility that can never be delegated to a machine